Hi, today is July the 18th, 2017. The events which I'm about to share with you happened on June the 29th, 2015. The only true witness to these events, beside myself, would be Mr. Toad. It's not a very good picture of him, but I took that with a camera that was kind of relatively new at the time. And I went outside to start taking photos because I heard some interesting events that were supposed to be transpiring, and something just kind of felt a little bit strange. I think Mr. Toad actually came out from my strawberry patch here. I've had it for a few years now. Basically, all it does is feed the bunnies. This evening was a very interesting night, obviously, and I learned this now, but at the time, I really didn't see anything particular. I started taking pictures of the moon, and they were very non-impressive. This wasn't really the best camera that I had, and I could see that by just looking at the viewfinder. But nonetheless, I still stayed outside for, I don't know, in this time span of maybe 10-15 minutes, taking some random pictures, directing the camera to the moon, trying to catch this certain celestial configuration, which I'll post links to in the description box. Wherever I felt that there was some sort of weird energy in my front yard, I do these crazy things once in a while. That's my front yard. It's kind of like looking towards my house, and the coloration on the grass is a little bit weird. It's very common for me to pick up orbs whenever I take pictures, especially when I have these feelings. So you'll see a good amount of these orbs in these photos. Now, you don't see them on the viewfinder so much. That's looking over, and those cluster of lights were not there when I took the picture. No, I seen those upon uploading the pictures just recently, the other day, but they were not there whenever I took the picture. That's an open field there in front of my neighbor's house. Uploading the pictures, and those lights, those cluster of lights, they were not there that evening whenever I was there. I mean, they were there obviously, but I didn't see them. I was just taking pictures. And all the orbs, I didn't see them. I felt an energy, but I didn't see anything. I only recognized these whenever I uploaded pictures most recently, as I'm on vacation and I wanted to share some photos. Well, that's an interesting picture there. These are a little bit out of sequence. My skills for narrating a slideshow aren't very great, so please bear with me. You can see the pictures were kind of crappy, you know, it was outside. Again, I didn't see any of those when I was taking the photos. And I still felt like snapping some pictures in my front yard. At some point, though, I mean, I recognized that the pictures they weren't coming up of the moon, and I really felt very inclined to take pictures of this patch in my front yard. And you can see right there, there are some defined orbs, and you don't see these when you just take them. You know, it's not like I see those while I'm taking them. That's something that comes up after. Oftentimes, you have to color in hands. Okay, so we have the moon here. Again, some defined orbs. Orbs are just, you know, spirit energy. I can put a link to some of those things in the description box as well. I'm well aware that some people think that it's just dust particles, but I definitely, after researching this particular day, feel like I have a better understanding what was going on. See, 2,000 years ago, there was a series of events that was related to the Star of Bethlehem. And that right there you're looking at, I believe, was Saturn or Venus. Again, my camera is so crappy, I couldn't take very good pictures of it, but I was trying. And that's what I had heard. I had read something, watched a video about the Star of Bethlehem and all these events. But nothing that you're seeing right there in that picture did I see with my naked eye. Those cluster of lights I did not see. I did not see those orbs. But again, I kept feeling like, oh, I want to take these pictures out here. I feel something, but I don't know. You know, the whole event of me snapping pictures, again, lasted for maybe like 5 minutes. I just kind of do kooky things once in a while. And this would be like an example of some of those kooky things. So I took some pictures. I forgot all about them. I didn't even go in, to upload them. I basically just said goodnight to Mr. Frog and chalked it up to that it was just, part of my crazy imagination or something. And it was no big deal. It really wasn't. It wasn't a big deal. So there they sat. There these pictures have sat for the past 2 years until the other day. And then I upload them. And then I color enhance to see what in the world is going on. Like, why are there lights in these pictures, I'm wondering? Because I don't really know what's going on. I mean, there's an open field across from my house. There's no lights. There's only my neighbor's house. There's one house around the corner. Then I take these pictures and then I start like tinting them, shading them, and zooming in on these lights or on these, cluster of lights. There were 9 of them in total. And each set, there were 2 sets, a single, 2 sets, 2 sets. They all seem to be in some sort of different formation. And I also noticed that when I color enhance these, that there were it was peculiar how the color seemed to take up in the video with the camera what was attributed to the purple and to the blues. I do not have any photography skills. Just enhance for color editing and zooming in. This was the second series. Tell me that doesn't look like a cube. I mean, tell me that doesn't look like a cube with something coming through it. Now, if you've already noted the faces, I'm going to get to that. That goes back to the picture that I had stuck up there earlier. I kind of misjudged that, but I'm on vacation. I don't want to spend all day doing this, but I want to post this. But look at that. That's a cube. It looks like a cube. To me, it looks like a cube. Did it have something to do with the moon? The celestial events? I started thinking about the orbs. And I'm thinking, is this how the spirits come to this world? Is this like where they're coming from? But then, in doing some research, I really do feel that the spirits sense these portals and we're going towards it. You see, those were the first 2, if you're looking from left to right. And it's almost as though something's breaking through. These were those cluster of lights now. And if you can enhance it and blow it up even more, you can see your own things in them. But I've just spent a lot of time the past day and a half looking at this stuff. And I mean, it's so trippy to me. To me, that looks like time portals. And then all the orbs around it. If you're talking about spiritual energy, it's like they all rose up out of nowhere when these presented themselves. And I'm out there taking pictures. Again, unbeknownst to me, I have no idea that these things are even out there. I do not see any orbs with my eyes. I do not see any cluster of lights with my eyes. I just have this weird kind of feeling. I'm having this kind of, magnetic kind of energy field going on. So I'm just snapping pictures. Look at all of those. I mean, just look at all of them. In an effort to try to get some answers, I have went to a blog and someone was trying to explain something to someone else about this particular night, June 29th, 2015, being a special night where souls transfer to another dimension or something to this nature. I have not been able to find out anything else about it since I looked over this, but I'm definitely going to be looking into it. It seems to make sense to me. It seems to make sense of why all these orbs were around at the same time these cluster of lights appeared. I don't know why I couldn't see them. They look so obvious in the pictures. There's lots of faces in there too, allegedly. I mean, I see like a full torso and an image in that one right there. And there's supposed to be some sort of mental disorder if you see faces and certain things. I think that's a lie. I think they tell you that just so that you won't tell other people. There's one that's just so defined that, and I think I stuck it ahead earlier in this video, but it's just absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy to think that I'm standing out there and there's something happening and I kind of feel it, but then consciously I brush it off. I'm out there for 5 minutes taking pictures and I go back in the house. The video's now twice as long as the time I spent outside. But I just never uploaded them. It wasn't any big deal. I find these next two interesting. They were at the end of the pattern, and they look white in the regular picture, but then when you color enhance them, it's like greenish and red. And I would always joke when I would look up and I would see something unusual in the sky, and I would always say, "Twinkle, twinkle, alien spaceship." It always seemed to have a green-red flicker to it, as do these. I was so fixated. I don't know, I think I felt something just very strongly about this one patch right to the left of my driveway. I don't know if that's where maybe they were coming up from. I mean, clearly when I'm taking the image, when I'm taking those pictures where you see all the orbs, I'm kind of standing behind that. The moonlight offers enough light to catch a good flash. And of course, I'm by myself. Mr. Toad is of no help to me. And if I don't go in and ask my family members to come outside and take a look at anything, especially if there's nothing concrete, because, they think I'm crazy enough. I didn't notice anything odd about my dogs. They weren't acting weird or anything, and I just had that weird feeling. And as I'm standing there, taking this picture, I'm on my driveway, behind that patch you had seen, and I'm taking it across to where my neighbor's house is. I did some color editing with the pictures, so I have a good perspective with shadows as to where these cluster of lights begin. It seems like they kind of rose at some point in time. They did move, but again, I couldn't see them. I wasn't taking pictures of them. This is the second set. Now tell me, do you not see that partial face? Not the one on the left, but the one on the right. I mean, I see it clear as day. It's like, I don't even want to say what it is. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to give you the answer. Leave me a message. Tell me what you see in that. So I have only maybe a dozen pictures that I took these from, that I zoomed in, and I really don't want to spend all of my time at this point going through and being neurotic about it, but I definitely could. There's a few photos that just show them in sequence, and that right there, I think this was the one that was independent. It didn't come with a set. There were like 2, 2, 1, 2, and 2, so there were 9 altogether. That to me looks just like a cube. There's some relation there. I mean, there is something, it just looks like a time portal to me. It does. And when you throw that on top of all of those orbs, all of them, I mean, I need to I need to research and find out why that was, what this day was. I with all the Google searches I've done so far, I really can't find anything valid. I did email someone about it, but I'd like to learn more about this. Were these the opening portals? Were these spirits just kind of waiting? Is it like a train station? Do they just like stay in a location and then when these portals open up, they just jump on or something? I mean, I know it sounds absolutely nuts. I don't do any sort of photography. I mean, I'm just a regular person with a camera. And these pictures you see here, that was the first set. Again, those were looked like circles opening up with something coming in, coming out. And I have to keep saying, I did not see this with my naked eye when I was taking the pictures. I didn't see this. This was nothing that I could see. I just had some sort of weird feeling about something going on. Um, that was the third set again, so it seemed like it was staged. They all came together, obviously, but they were all a little bit different. Each set was a little bit different. It's, if I ever needed a reason to believe that the paranormal, spiritual entities were related somehow to the um, paranormal intergalactic energies, I mean, this would be it. And it's kind of crazy because I just recently uploaded a video and I talked about my on the bridge, off the bridge, on the bridge experience, which was just kind of crazy. And really, I didn't even know these pictures were hanging out in my camera. I had totally forgotten about it. This is like just about over 2 years. 2 years. And I was just I was just going on to update some pictures because here we are, family vacation. I wanted to send some pictures out. I wasn't expecting to see these, so I'm really just kind of in shock still now, trying to process it because um, it's really kind of taking two completely different concepts, one in which I really don't have much experience with, and that's of the time portal stuff, but I guess I have some experience with that, just with the on the bridge, off the bridge type thing. Then I wonder, do I have to think to myself, did I talk this up? Did I talk this into existence? Like I finally would download it now, right after sharing with like everybody my story, my crazy story about being on the bridge and then being off the bridge. There's some relation here, though, obviously, to these orbs. Obviously, my editing skills aren't so great. uh, I don't even know how to change those slides around. I'm just going to be basically leaving it as it is. I wish there was a way I could just post a folder of photos so that you could see and compare yourself the edited to non-edited pictures. And I'm sure if I did different color configurations, I'd be able to see something else other than this. And maybe at some point in time I will, but I think I want to seek the answers first. In the description box, I'm going to go ahead and post some links to events that were occurring that day, June the 29th, 2015. There seemed to be unusual hailstorms this day, and there also seemed, there's Mr. Frog again. I wish Mr. Frog could speak. He knows a lot more than me. And there was also the whole cluster of events regarding the Star of Bethlehem and events that transpired 2,000 years ago, or 2 or 3 BC. And I guess from what I can gather, and I'm not an astrological guru by any chance, but from the reading that I have done, it seems as if the positioning of the stars and so forth again were where they were 2,000 years ago. There were other weird lights too, like what you're seeing now, I know that one lighter light was a solar panel going up, a little solar light going up to my mailbox. But those other three, again, there's nothing there. Across the street from my house, there's nothing but a field. There are no lights. It is like pitch dark over there. And I haven't even went ahead and enhanced those. You know, that's down and around the corner. Take note of this. And these were like oddly in this little cluster of like a dozen pictures. And I looked at that picture at first, like you're looking at it now, and I just scrolled right through it. I didn't even realize, I'm like, why did I take that? You know, didn't even remember. But after I got done looking at all these photos and editing some of them out, I realized what the meaning of that was. And there's the little critter. There he is. Because things are right there. Did you see him? Did you catch that? It's like we have everything right in front of us all the time and we don't even see it. Obviously, these dimensions that exist with us. I already kind of decided a long time ago whenever I was on a twin engine plane or it was, no, I'm sorry, it was a prop plane and the propellers started going. Of course, you have these big blades outside the window of the plane. And when they start to take off, all of a sudden, you don't see them anymore. It's amazing how they're there, and then you know they're there, and you hear them, and you know that they're going to help propel you into the air, but you don't see them anymore because they're moving so fast. Like this here, you know? What was moving so fast in and out of that? Because I didn't see it. The camera caught it, which is pretty fantastic. The camera caught them, and just the ability to just colorize these things, show you what was really there right in front of me. You know, it's kind of like, I guess, if people put those infrared lights on so they can see at night, you know, like our eyes don't see what's in front of us. And my mind sees. When I look at these, I can see faces. Do you not see that face? Look, do you not see it? The chin looks like a very pronounced chin. Is that what was going on? Are all these souls just going on to the light? I think of Poltergeist, you know, Carol Ann, go into the light. Is that what's going on? Oh, this just makes my head spin. I mean, I know what I see. I know the little bit of research that I did pertaining to that night. I know what I was feeling out there, you know. It does make me sound like a crazy woman. Being outside, it was thankfully because of the time stamp. I know exactly what time it was. I think it said 8:54. I'm out there and I'm taking pictures, you know, and for no reason except I have a feeling. And that's why I follow those feelings. You know, I don't care if people think I'm a crackhead. There are so many answers out there just waiting for us to discover. I think they'll tie together somehow. I feel like these are pieces to a puzzle, even though I don't know where to put them. I see these orbs. I have a lot of experience. I've taken lots of pictures on ghost walks and at cemeteries and so forth, and much of the time, you know, again, I don't see it to the naked eye, but I sense something in an area. If I start taking photographs, 9 times out of 10 always, you know, there's something there. I just have to go in and like look for it. The camera technology, it picks it up. It picks up what my eyes don't see. In plain sight right in front of us. When you have that energy, you know, you feel like something's there. And it's just kind of crazy to me because and I know if I can pick this stuff up and I note it, other people are too. I mean, I haven't ever seen anything like this on anyone's YouTube. I don't think I've ever searched for it. I mean, once upon a time, I would just look at those orbs right there in a clear, unedited picture, right? And I'd be like, oh, there's an orb, you know. And then, you know, you progress and then you start zooming in, then you start color enhancing, then you start seeing faces, and then pretty soon it becomes normal. And then you find yourself outside, you know, 9 o'clock at night on a summer evening, taking photos for 5 minutes at nothing, you know? And it was so anticlimactic to me at the moment that I didn't even see fit to upload it. I just left them in my camera. Yeah, it prompted me to go out there and look for, and I'll put a link in the description box. I think was it Saturn? I cannot remember right now. But it brings me back to this little critter here, If you go back and you see that one picture, right? We were moving. He blended right in, right? He blended in. That's what I was taking a picture of. I hijacked himself onto my vehicle while I was on my way to work. And I looked at him in there, and he kept trying to hide from me. So I took his picture. I don't even know why he was in with these pictures. Another something random. But it gives me answers. He was in plain sight in that one picture. I couldn't see him. And there he is in that one. Tell me what you make of it. That's all. I'm probably going to cancel some of these out. I've never used this program before, and just trying to help myself along in the narration. Hope everybody has a great week. Thanks for listening to my crazy. And I added the credits. Maybe I'll get a little bit better at editing and stuff. Until then, you'll just, I guess, have to suffer with the substandard amateur work.